I want to talk about that video I saw in a science class when I was sub-teaching. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, that was a well-done piece of work. I've seen a lot of stuff over the years as a science teacher and never seen anything as impressive as that video. Showed embryos, human embryo, an ape embryo, I think it was a turtle embryo, and a bird embryo. And at the outset, it challenged you to look at them and pick out which one was the human embryo. Now, maybe a specialist could have, but I'm going to tell you what, I couldn't, and I defy about anybody I know to have been able to. Identical in seemed like every aspect. Well, then a little later, they show further development, and they make a point to show you how the ape hand and the human hand is developing this way, and right over here at the similar developmental stage, the bird wing is developing, and the development pattern is remarkably similar, and then just ends up that the one's a wing, and in the ape and the man it's a hand, an arm. Very convincing from the point of view of the evolutionist. As a Christian, convince me that there's no God? Huh, that's ridiculous. God is God, and undoubtedly he had a master plan and made variations from it. And to say that therefore he used the same basic plan makes him not exist is ridiculous. Oh man, it just doesn't make me suffer at all on my religious beliefs. But it did leave me in awe that, wow, what a job they did with their presentation. You know, there's an old joke, which came first, the chicken or the egg? You can debate that all day long. You're not going to get anywhere. It's part of this whole argument, though. On the other hand, while a film doesn't shake my Christian belief at all, I got to tell you that I shake up some of my Christian friends, maybe all of them, because I don't believe every word in the Bible is from God at all. Give me a break. I think it's pretty provable that way back, there was no printing press, there was no written language, and the things that were important were passed on by storytellers who memorized things and passed them on to another one and another one. And, you know, we human beings, we have a tendency to kind of once in a while tweak the story a little from our own perspective. I'm not saying God wasn't involved. Not at all. But to me, to maintain that our interpretation, our Bible, says all there is to say about God is ridiculous. I personally believe that when we get to heaven, and I'm planning on going in spite of those that worry that I might not, because I don't think every word in the Bible is true. I think when we get to heaven, we're going to be shocked. We're going to find out that God's a lot bigger than we understand him to be or believe him to be. And there's going to be lots and lots and lots of people there who never in any way prescribe to some of the tenets of our Holy Bible. And it is holy. I don't in any way deny that it's a holy Bible. Of course it is. I've said it before, I'll say it again. God must be terribly upset with us that our ancestors were doing such a bad job that he felt it necessary to sacrifice his own son by sending him to this unholy earth to try to get us straightened out as to what God thinks and wants and expects of us, his creation. What What did Jesus preach over and over and over? Feed my sheep. Visit those in prison. Don't store up material goods. In his time, the idea of all this banking and money and so on didn't even, I think, exist in those terms. But Jesus made it very, very clear that it's a foolish man that stores up goods, in this case, in our modern day, stores up money, because that's not the basis of the good life. The good life is in sharing and giving and feeding. And you know, I wonder, folks, all this baloney that's going on about you can't have the Ten Commandments up, you can't have God have anybody's religion play a part in anything. I wonder if that's not from the people who believe that, hey, I don't want to have that thing out there saying I'm not doing the right thing when I make my goal and my country's goal wealth, 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 money, money, money. Greed, greed, greed. And Jesus, God, has tried to tell us it's the way to hell, not the way to heaven, not the way to the good life. Looks like we could do better than we do. But we're still trying. The goal in a life of an individual, the goal in the life of a country should be to do good, not just to generate income, not to make wealth the personal or the state or the national goal. Now you may think it's strange I stress that when I really take offense to the big debt that we've been put into. Well, I don't want us to be in debt. I want us to be prosperous, and I want us to use our prosperity to follow the tenets of the teachings of God through Jesus. You know, you can be a good person and not be a Christian. But I'm not sure you can be a Christian and not be a good person. You think about that. If you're a Christian and you follow the teachings of Jesus, and surely you can't deny that Jesus was the later version of God's message to us. I don't see how you can be Christian and not be a good person. And how I wish we could, as a country, be good. In the process, whether you're a believer or not as a Christian, just be a good person. I'd like to think that all the good people could uphold the fundamental concepts that Jesus taught. And that was taught by many other religious leaders. I don't care which ones you go back to. They almost down through history, the true religions emphasize the same kinds of things that our Jesus, our God, emphasized. Can't we do better? Of course we can. Let's give it a real shot. God bless you, each and every one, the most radical believer to the most radical non-believer. God loves you too.